And we are back at the island, and this is Benita,
CT,
and BJ.
Hey, y'all. What's up?
howdy.
Hey.
Y'all good?
Yes, I
Real
can't wait
good.
till we get to our special guest. So go for it, V.
I know we're
Yeah.
not going to waste any time. We are so excited to have our guest here today, and let's jump right in. Our guest today was born in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we have something in common. We're both military brats, and so both of his parents are veterans. And so he is a graduate of the University of Texas in San Antonio with a BA degree in communications. The other thing we have in common is being an educator. He is a former high school math teacher. So I'm a retired special ed teacher. Yes. So our guest made headlines for becoming the first openly gay Black man elected to San Antonio City Council, or any office in Texas for that matter, earlier this month, and this is the month of June. So he will be District 2's 7th representative since 2014. So we are going to dive right in. We are so privileged here at the island to have the newly elected District 2 Councilman Jalen McKee-Rodriguez.
All right.
Hello, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with y'all.
We're excited to have you. Here at the island, it's real talk about real issues, and we're always real. So do your thing. So
Yes, ma'am.
yes. So I know it's been a long month of celebrations for you. And with it being Pride Month, it's been like double celebrations. So are you tired yet? Are you tired?
No, I have all the energy in the world. I'm so excited, and really, I've been energized by my staff, by the community, and by the other council members. There's some great relationships being formed, and I can't wait. I'm so excited to get to work.
That is awesome. So let's just dive right in. I think Cheryl has the first question.
I do, but I want to say we also have something in common. I graduated with a computer science degree and a minor in mathematics, so I love math teachers.
Oh my gosh. I didn't get a degree in math, so I am very impressed by you, and you are a genius. I hope everyone knows you are on the line with a genius. And computer science at that.
I love numbers, so for you to be a math teacher, that is an awesome thing to do. So my question to you, Jalen, is why did you decide to go in politics?
Mm-hmm. So, I had never planned on entering the field of politics. I really do love education. I thought I was going to be in advertising, so that's why I got my degree in communication. And really, my goal was to increase representation for minorities, for marginalized communities. And I feel advertising is a good way to do that. But in 2016, Trump was elected, and I just remember waking up. I was sick. I had pharyngitis and sinusitis at the same time. And then I was sick because Trump got elected, and I was, devastated and heartbroken. And I realized then that if I wanted something to change, that I should, start getting involved. So I got my start in 2017 volunteering on campaigns. I volunteered for Michael Montano, who ran in District 1 for City Council, and then Judge Monique Diaz, who ran for 150th District Court Judge. And then I actually worked for my predecessor. I helped get Councilwoman Jada Andrew Sullivan elected. And really at the root of it all is that I don't feel represented. I feel as though there's a lot of rich, wealthy white men making decisions that they're never going to feel the impacts of. And we need more working class people, more Black people, more minorities, more everyone. Everyone who's not represented deserves a voice. And so I think where I saw city council's role is that local government is where policy really meets people and our day-to-day lives. And so I think it's important that our council members recognize that. And that's the kind of council member I plan to be.
Awesome. I know you're going to do a fantastic job.
I will do my best. Thank you.
Well, Councilman Jalen, I read somewhere that you said there's power in representation. So I'm glad you spoke about that, and everybody should have some representation in our democracy, and we should try to keep it. So I have something in common with you too. Everybody else was talking about their in common with you. But when I woke up and heard that Trump was the president, I was sick too.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I just want you to know I joined you. But seriously, I also have a communications background. And so I worked for many, many years in communications. And so we do have something in common.
Yes,
I think
ma'am.
my first question for you is, what are the top 3 issues that you see facing our city?
Okay, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. So I'm
Okay.
gonna give you 2 ones that I think are pretty straightforward. The first one being our streets, infrastructure, drainage. Our sides of town, the east, west, south sides, they were designed very poorly and maintained very poorly for decades, and I'd say centuries. And a huge part of that is that our sides of town weren't meant for white people. They were meant to push aside Mexicans and Hispanics and Black people. And so a lot of the inequities that we face, a lot of the reasons why businesses don't want to open up shop in our side of town, why we don't have a lot of resources, is because our infrastructure was designed for us to have our own little thing going on. And that just opens the door for so much else. Aside from that, it damages our cars. We see that whenever it rains, our streets will be flooded for days at a time, and that damages our roads, creates potholes even further, takes 6 years for them to come repair a street. It's just all a system and a cycling door of inequity, starting at the root infrastructure, which is, one of the basic foundations of a city. Second, I think this was in the spotlight this past election, and that's police accountability and community police relations. I think our police department has a long way to go in righting a lot of its wrongs, and few people know this. Last year, they celebrated 300 years, 300 or however many years of being, their. Oh, I can't even think about what the total years was, but they were founded in '63. Okay. So 2 years before Juneteenth. So they started as slave patrol.
Gotcha.
And nobody recognizes that history, and them, celebrating, oh, we've been around for this long. It's like, do you see the cognitive dissonance there?
Mhm.
And do you see why the relationships have been what they've been? Because they started out hostile. And so now that we're trying to become this post-racial society, we will not be that as long as, the races are treated the way that they are. The inherent biases that people have to be recognized. And I feel like a huge part of the police community relationship and the problems that we have are due to those racial inequities and those racial problems that exist. And I could talk a long time about that. We will, and hopefully I'll be on the public safety committee and I can talk about that on and make some policy about it. And then I would say 3, and I think this one's a little bit deeper, and it stems to the root of San Antonio, and it's poverty. And a lot of times lawmakers want to put out policy, or they want to make budget recommendations, or they want to make their speeches, and they want to talk about the problems that exist in San Antonio without addressing the root, which is poverty, a sense of hopelessness that people have. We want to talk about crime, but we don't want to talk about why do people feel desperate? Why do people feel hurt? And until we address that, I think we're going to see a whole lot of barriers in place to solving some of our a lot of our problems. But I say the 3. I ain't mean to get that deep, but.
Well, I'm glad you did, because we appreciate your candid comments. We said real talk and real issues, and so you brought it to us, and I appreciate that.
Yes,
we want to support those sort of issues in any way that we can, but we have to understand them. And I really appreciate you saying that we got to go beyond the issue to the root. And so what you brought to us is some more insight into what we need to do. So I appreciate that. But I have another question for you. Do you think San Antonio would benefit? I'm changing it a little. Do you think they would benefit from ranked choice voting like they're doing in New York, or like they did in New York for the mayoral race?
This is actually the first year that I've been paying attention to the New York races, and I've been very intrigued by the ranked choice voting. I've been disappointed to see some of my candidates lose, but I've been excited to see some of them win. And I think what happens with ranked choice voting, one, I think let's just think about what it does for voters.
Mhm.
San Antonio, we are tired of elections because we have an election in November, we got one in May, then we're gonna have another one in March, and then we're gonna have one in November. It's gonna be a whole thing, like it's just constant. We're constantly voting for something. We
Yes.
have the bond election that we're gonna be voting on. We have,
Right.
and then we have whatever runoffs come from those elections. And so I think what you see is voter fatigue. It's exhausting to have to get up and vote that many times and to see your candidates lose so many times, to have to, a lot of people this past runoff, they thought that I won after the general because I had gotten the most votes. So there's also that challenge of re-educating voters and saying, hey, no, we need your vote one more time. And I know it was a struggle to get you out last time, but here's why it matters more. And we could eliminate some of that voter fatigue by implementing ranked choice voting. And for a lot of people don't know what ranked choice voting does, but what it does is, I'm just going to do the piece for the audience.
That's good.
Is everybody votes for their first, second, third, fourth, fifth, however many that they want to vote for.
Right.
And those are assigned points. So then they tally how many people got first place or how many first place votes there were. And then whoever got the least amount of votes is eliminated.
Right.
And then all of that candidate's second choice votes are then allotted to the next people. And we continue and continue until we get to, the final one. And that person is what would have occurred after a number of runoffs. So it makes it so that if you didn't get your first choice, you're not left with, two people you don't want to choose from. You're choosing your top 3, 4, 5, and you could even leave people off. And I think there's just so much power in that. And there's so much power in being able to say, like, I can vote for these 3 people and I can leave everybody else off. Like that in itself is something powerful. And I do think San Antonio would benefit from that.
You actually hit on something when you said voter fatigue, because you do get tired of going out to the polls, especially now that they're making it harder for you to vote and making it harder for you to jump through hoops to get to cast your vote, because many people work. Some people have flexible schedules, but most people do not. The working class people do not have a flexible schedule. So, when they struggle just to get out to get that one vote in, you want to make it count, and you're going to tell them, hey, we got to run off, we got to come back, you got to take some time off your job again, but you're hourly employed, but I still need you to wait in that line 3, 4, 5 hours in order to vote for me because it's important.
Yes, and the fact that, voting isn't a holiday. We need that, we need this. The working class people need this, and it's exhausting. And I do want to correct myself on something real quick, because earlier I said the SAPD was founded in 63. They were founded in 1846.
1846.
So long before the Emancipation Proclamation. So they were really deep in it.
Wow. Wow.
In control and patrol.
Yes, ma'am.
Control and patrol.
Yes.
Well, you may have answered this question, but this is more specific to you. What major initiatives would you like to approve or implement while you're in office? Do you have some specific things that you want to maybe put bills together for the community? What are those?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. When I tell you what the campaign trail will do is it'll get you so excited to do so many things. You talk to people and they have amazing ideas. And then you get in office, you're slowed down by the bureaucracy because we ain't get a staff together. We have to get everybody's emails put up. We got to open up the offices. We got to get our IT stuff. And so I've been writing stuff down, trying to maintain that excitement. And I think one thing that really, that I'm super excited about that we're already doing is the hotel for the houseless population downtown. So there's a homeless encampment under I-37. And across from there is the Days Inn. And so San Antonio, we recently voted to approve a lease, which will turn into a low barrier shelter. So it won't have the same requirements that say Haven for Hope has, where you have to sober up. It'll be one where you can't have any alcohol or drugs on the premises, but you don't have to be sober. It's truly housing first. It's getting someone on their feet, getting them a shower, getting them a bed. And I'm so excited about that.
Awesome.
I'm not gonna cheat the question though. I will talk about something for the future. But I also want to say that for that, I've also made the budget ask that I think it's important to recognize that when houseless people all they have is their pet. We can't separate them from their pets. And currently the hotel isn't going to allow animals. And so I'm making the budget ask for kennel care while they're staying at the Days Inn. Because I think that's just so important. It's like, these are your babies, these are your connection to humanity, and they were with you when nobody else was. And so I will be fighting for that as an initiative. And I also think I'll say this one as a fun one I want to do. And this one, I haven't worked out all the logistics. I'm looking at what other cities are doing, but San Antonio is a system. It is a beast. And so what it is it would be a grocery incubator program. So somebody wants to learn how to run a grocery store. They're given the tools and they're taught how to run the grocery store. They do that. And I want to connect it with a local food garden so that we are increasing access to quality, affordable produce in recognizing that our side of town faces one of the worst food deserts, I think, in the city. And that was really spotlighted when during the freeze in February, when people are stockpiling on food and you see everybody on the east side trying to go to the same 2 HEBs and Walmarts. And on the north side, they have Target, Trader Joe's, Walmart, HEB, all these things.
Routes.
All these things. And, we have nothing. We're fighting for so much less. So that shows that we really do need to address those food deserts.
That's awesome. I'm wondering if a company like HEB would be willing to partner with you all, even if it's competing with them, because, HEB is such a community-based organization that may be a lead into helping the community with smaller grocery stores that are, local.
I would love that. And we've actually, I know that the council office has been in talk for years about expanding the HEBs that exist and adding new HEBs, but nothing's been brought to fruition. And I think that's a bit exhausting. And I would love to work with HEB on this, but I kind of want to see what the community can do.
Yes, I like it.
I like that. I like that. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. Okay, so we are back at the island and we are having a good time. We almost didn't come back from break, y'all.
We're having too much fun talking.
We're having too much fun talking. I should have kept recording, but anyways, Cheryl, I think you're up.
Yes, Councilman Jalen, this has been such a pleasure. I'm just so excited and so refreshed to see young people in politics and young, intelligent people in politics, shall I say.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited. So I want to ask you, who was the most influential person in your life?
Ooh, I'm gonna be basic, but it's true. It's real true. It's got to be my mom. My mom was 19 when she had me, and she enlisted in the Army. And the reason she did it was to provide me a better life. And she sacrificed her youth and her ambitions and the ability to travel the world, and experience so much of what being young has to offer. And she did it for me. And along the way, I saw so much sacrifice. And I saw, maybe at the time you don't realize it when you're young, but you see how the key decisions that were made and the things that you were protected from and shielded from, you see those and why, and you see the larger picture that your parents have for you. And yes, they make mistakes, and everybody's growing at all times. And I'm so excited, and I'm proud of my mom too. She, after a certain point, she went back to school. She got her bachelor's and then she got her master's. And she's doing amazing, and I'm so proud of her, and so influenced. I want to make her proud, and that at the root of every decision I make, it's, am I going to make my mom proud?
That's awesome.
And you're doing a fabulous job, and she did a fabulous job. She has developed, not only created, but developed a wonderful, intelligent young man. So
thank you so much. Y'all gonna have me crying on the podcast at the kitchen island.
I like your thoughtfulness and your compassion, because I can see that you're going to put the people first. And so we applaud your mom. She did a magnificent job. Thank
you so much. I'm going to relay that to her.
Yes.
Just have her listen in.
Oh, I can share the podcast.
You definitely
Yes.
are going to share the podcast.
Yes, I am going to share it. I met with my mom specifically, but yes,
Oh,
I will
okay.
share the podcast and share it with my mom.
Okay.
Awesome, awesome. So I was just commenting on you being a very young and intelligent person in politics. What advice would you give the younger generation that even considering going down this path? Because as you know, it's not very easy to get to the level that you've achieved. And I'm sure you're going to go to another level after this.
Oh my gosh, I think, and I had an idea whenever, when you started asking the question, I had an idea of what I wanted to say. I think I have to give the advice, always listen, always be receptive and listen to the advice of elders. There's a lot of wisdom there, most definitely. You don't have to be pigeonholed by it, but it is worthwhile to listen because there's people who have been doing the work, people who have learned the hard lessons so we don't have to, and who have experienced hardships so that we don't have to. So I think that's number one. But I also think number two is, to not, I want to say almost don't take no for an answer in some sense. And I know it sounds counterintuitive, but I think there's a lot of times when, we're told as young people, when are y'all gonna step up, and when are the young people gonna take charge? But then we're also told, sit down and wait your turn. And so sometimes it feels like you want, people want to pass the torch, but sometimes people don't want to pass the torch, and so you have to take it. And so sometimes young people, you can't be afraid to take the torch, and you can't be afraid to step out with new ideas and to challenge the system and to really make people think, why have we been doing things the way that we're doing? Because yes, we've been doing this for however long, but why are we doing it? Why are we not doing this? Why are we so resistant to change? And so I think there's the two piece, the be willing to listen, never stop being willing to listen, but also don't be afraid to challenge.
I love
I
it.
like what you said when you stated that, they should be listening to different advice. The other thing, I like the fact that you volunteered first in campaigns and helping others get to where they want to go. So you went through a learning process. You didn't jump out there and just put your name on the ballot and just like, I want to run just because.
Oh, I'd have been the crazy person doing that.
But we have some crazy people doing that. We had a president that did that.
Yeah,
but
we
I'm
did
not
have a
gonna go
president.
there.
We did have a president that did that.
And and everybody says that, if you had it's okay not to be in politics in order to be in politics, but I don't think that's necessarily true. Would you go to a doctor that had not gone to medical school to work on you? So why would you get involved with somebody that had never ever done anything in politics, and they all of a sudden they're now your, councilman or president for that matter?
Yes, ma'am. I will challenge you on that.
Mm-hmm.
I will challenge you on that because I do think there's value in, and I'll challenge you to an extent because you're absolutely right. We want people to be knowledgeable. I think people have to be willing to accept the knowledge and expertise that exists within someone, right? And I'm going to elaborate a little bit, is that we have activists. We have people who have worked retail, people who have been impacted by major political failures and failures, on the government's end. And that inspires people to run. And I will never want to discourage someone from doing that. We've seen some, I think of Amy Villela in Nevada, and the reason that she ran was because her doctor or her daughter's doctor couldn't treat them, and they couldn't afford healthcare, and her daughter ended up passing away. And I think that's a huge reason to want structural systemic change and to challenge the system.
True.
But those are often one-offs. But I would love to see more healthcare workers. I'd love to see more retail workers. I'd love to see everybody in office. So that's what my challenge is. That's the only reason I challenged you, Ms. Cheryl.
I totally get it. I think I was thinking about more of the highest office in the land. I was like, you've never done anything.
Stop going back to Trump, please.
That's the mark on all of us, Cheryl.
You know,
Yes.
he had not done anything in any kind and never really wanted to study up on it, never really wanted to know about it.
Oh,
That
yes.
to me, you know, but when you run and you have a passion for running, guess what? You do your homework and you study on it and you find out, you know, why you want to run and you have the reasons, you know, to move you forward. You don't just run just because, you know. And so that's the reason why I put that out there. The person that's the highest office in the land should have some knowledge, some knowledge.
And the
Yes,
thing is,
ma'am.
Cheryl, the other part of that is you have to be willing to listen, like Jalen was
Yes, and
saying.
with
Yes.
listen and learn.
To wisdom.
And the
listen.
last thing I'm gonna say is going to be based on what Jalen says, that young people to listen and listen to wisdom and listen to advice, but you don't have to take every bit of advice. Because my thing is, advice is like going to a buffet. You go to a buffet, you see something on that buffet you don't like, guess what? You leave it there and you don't put it on your plate. Same thing about advice and wisdom, you know, yes, soak it up, get what you need, but if it's not suitable for you and it doesn't fit where you're going, just leave it on the buffet and keep moving, keep on down the line. So that's what I would say to young people. Yes, it's great to listen to wisdom. Wisdom, when I say wisdom, I mean good counsel, but when it don't fit, don't put it on your plate.
It don't fit, don't force it.
Yes.
Yes,
I want
exactly.
to add this to it, based on what Cheryl said. I think we all agree that I just lost my thought, you guys. In the podcast, lost my thought, but you should encourage folk to learn. And even if they don't have all of the experience, if they have the compassion and the commitment to do something, then they have the desire to learn. As long as you're learning as you go along and you're not just, as Cheryl said, running to run, then you're good with me and I can support you.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So let me ask you this. Do you want your political career to go beyond city councilman? Now, just this conversation, I can see President McKee-Rodriguez of the United
Oh my
States.
gosh.
I can see it. I can see senator, I can see mayor, I can see it all.
That's so flattering. It really is. I'll say this. Because I haven't had these political aspirations, I really never plan on running for city council. I will say that for now, my plan is to serve for as long as the people will have me. I want to get through these 2 years. I want to earn re-election, and then I want to keep earning re-election until I term out. And then from there, I'll either get back in education or I'll get into the nonprofit world. Or, you know, my degree, my master's is, I'm one class away from my master's in educational leadership and policy studies. And that is my passion, but I do also recognize the need to challenge the system and to have people in the system who know it and are willing to challenge it. So I'd be willing, but right now it's not in the plans.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Honest answer.
Fair answer. Fair.
Mhm.
But y'all gassing me up. Y'all make me feel all confident when I've barely been in the seat for 2 weeks, just found the bathroom.
But that was an astute answer based on where you are right now in your career.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we've been talking politics and seriousness, but we've had a lot of laughter in between. So could you tell us, how do you relax, have fun, or even in a crisis, what do you do to get yourself through it?
Oh my gosh. I'll start off with that last part. I love crises. It's bad.
Oh,
It's bad. I don't love them. Like I wish, like I'm thinking personal, professional, like when there's a fire and you got to put it out. I
Yes.
do enjoy that process. I love problem solving. I love the puzzles, and I love, especially when there's some element of like relationships within that, and you have to navigate I think that's why I would love, Survivor, Big Brother, those reality shows, because I love the personal politics. So I'm excited to enter the world of politics now. But I think, I just kind of enjoy that. So I think that's the easier one to answer. I think how I relax and have fun. Lately, I've been playing solitaire a lot.
Okay.
I'm an artist, so
Oh.
I've painted murals in my house. I love painting. I haven't had so much time for it. I love drawing. I love social media. I mean, I'm a millennial, so I'll scroll for hours on whatever. Try not to do it so much, but I think I'll develop more hobbies so next time I come on, I can have more to share with you.
But you
All
know
right,
what I
so we
like?
know he's coming back.
I know, that's what I was going to say. I like what he said, and guess what? We know he is welcome back at any time.
And
But
the
listen,
island, oh yes.
what I always like to ask our guests is, when you were a young boy, what did you want to be when you grew up? What did you want to be?
There
No,
were so
I don't
many
think little
things.
boys sit around saying, you know, I think I want to be a city councilman.
Not common. I don't think it's that common. I'll say this. When I was really little, and for the longest time, I wanted to be involved in the arts. So it kind of evolved. So I wanted to be a drawer, as like a child would say. Then I wanted to be a painter. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a photographer. I really wanted to get into film. I love the art, like all of the arts. I love them. If I could sing, I would want to be a singer. But y'all don't want that. But I did find in my high school yearbook, and this was surprising to me because I don't remember this. I don't remember ever wanting to be an educator, but it said that I wanted to be an art teacher. And I was like, I don't remember ever actually wanting to enter education. It was kind of a fluke that I entered the field of education, much less a math teacher at that. But I think now looking back, I am much better off as a math teacher than I think I would have been as an art teacher.
Okay.
That's something, that's right brain and then left brain competing with one another.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Very interesting. I'm a counselor, so you know I'm psychoanalyzing you right now.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the results later.
They're all good. They're all good. That just means your brain is ambidextrous. That's a lot. That's a good thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you know what? We're not going to hold you very much longer, but we're going to let each one of us is going to give you some words of encouragement. And what I'd like to say is, I want you to keep doing what you're doing. You've already got a jump start. I've already heard great things about you, even from just the politicians in the city, other city councilmen. My husband has spoke highly of you. You're already doing what you need to be doing, but as a podcast, you are always welcome to come back if you need our platform for any reason. Please feel free to let us know, and we will definitely put you on.
Thank you so much. Also, okay, can I take a pause?
Yes.
So I want to plug that my chief of staff will be upset if I did not plug this, but we got the results of the budget input survey from the city.
Okay.
And I want to say I can't remember the numbers, but I feel like about 40% of the results came from the north side.
Okay.
Districts 8, 9, and 10. 6% came from District 2. So what we need is more people to go participate in the budget survey. I'm gonna get the link. I'll have it at the end when everyone's done. But I want us to make sure that we're getting everybody on the east side, everybody in District 2, everybody in San Antonio to complete this survey, because we are not represented. And we need that.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. And like I said, anytime you need to get a message out to the city, to the state for that matter, please feel free to contact us and come back on and spread the word. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
You can send out, we have all the different churches that we're connected to on the east side. We can get our assistant, our pastor secretary, to send out a quick email to say, hey, could everybody complete this? Could you ask your parishioners to complete the survey? It's very important that we're represented.
Yes.
So that's something that we can make sure that we do after this session.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
So the one thing I want to encourage you to do is to continue to go boldly and stay strong.
I love that.
Because you are very bold, but you're confident but not conceited. And that is very important in the place that you sit and the person that you are. It's very few people that will ever challenge me when I speak, but you challenge me, and I love that. And I'm so glad you did.
Glad you did too, Jalen. She won't let us challenge her. She won't let us. She tries to shut us down like this.
She shuts us down. So you did a great thing.
Yeah, so we walk off from her when she shuts us down, but she couldn't walk from you. So good for you.
Good job.
Well, thank you so much for letting me do it. And thank you so much for being so receptive.
you did it in such, not just a respectful way, but a powerful way to say, wait a minute, I just want to challenge you on it. And I can respect that. Normally I'm gonna clap back when somebody.
He's not lying
Wait a
either.
minute.
He's giving
Not
you
lying.
straight talk. The
But,
right talk.
yeah, this is straight talk. Y'all know I keep it 100. But
Yes.
I thank you so much for challenging me. That says to me that you do have your own set of values and your mindset, and you understand what you're thinking, and no one else can run over your thoughts. And so that's so important where you sit and who you are. So continue to go boldly and stay strong.
Thank you so
Love it.
much.
Love it.
Well, I guess I'll go next, and I'll just say that I am still holding on to your statement. There's power in representation. And so I encourage you to continue to invite others to participate. And the other thing is that I am so taken with your drive to serve. And whenever you start out to be a servant, you know God is with you.
Yes.
And you know you're going to do great things. And if you don't, I'm telling you, you're going to do great things. And so we're praying for you.
Yes.
And if you keep that servant's mind and invite others to participate, we know great things are going to happen, not just on the east side, but all over San Antonio because of you.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. This is the perfect way to end my day. Y'all are great. I love y'all.
Yes.
I do have the link. I do have the link now. It is
Okay.
All right.
It is SASpeakup.com.
Perfect. Perfect.
SASpeakup.com.
We got
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
Okay.
We got it.
Okay, you guys that are listening to us that's in District 2, don't forget SASpeakup.com. We need you to go out there. We need you to tweet, text your friends to make sure that they fill out the survey. It's very simple to do that. We need to be represented so we can't complain. You know, don't throw a fit when the money don't come our way.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, Jalen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been wonderful.
Yes, thank you. And remember, anytime you want to come back, we're ready. We'll be waiting.
Absolutely.
Yes. So with that being said, we are going to say adios.
Ciao, Bella.
See you later.
Bye.